to another episode of Sports Damn Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Hooker. You see Izzy, so you already know we're here to talk some ball. So, Izzy, All-Star Weekend is coming up very, very soon. Um, for what you've seen from the starters, who are some guys that are shoo-in fits to being the All-Star reserve?
Well, for the East, it's probably going to look a little different with Giannis probably missing the game because he got hurt. So I think they're probably going to have to slot Donovan Mitchell into his spot. I think he finished sixth in the fan voting or something like that, anyways. So that he would be the logical replacement. But outside of him, I would say I think Toronto's going to get two All Stars. I think Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram. I think that they should be selected. I think that they've been really great this year, especially Ingram. Last couple of years he's been injured a lot. Now he's rebounded to form this year. I mean, we obviously had much higher expectations when he got drafted almost 10 years ago now, which is actually insane to me because I remember watching him at Duke. But he's really rebounded from last like couple rough seasons. And he's a floor raiser, and that's why Toronto's been really good this year. And we've seen Scotty Barnes also take a step in his game offensively, and honestly, I think he's in the defensive player of the year conversation as well. So I think Toronto should get two All Stars. Outside of that, go to Philly. I think Joel Embiid. I mean, the way he's been playing over the last month or so, I think it would be tough to not make him an All-Star reserve. And shout out to him because last couple years, the knee surgeries and all the criticism and all the what ifs about whether or not he would play or get back to the MVP form, he looks really good. And with Maxi now playing at an MVP level, and now that you have Embiid back to form, Philly just got a lot more dangerous in the East, honestly. And I think before the season, a lot of people weren't really talking about them. And with Embiid now looking like the elite center, the elite big man that we've all grown accustomed to seeing, honestly, they could make a run. And they VJ Edgecombe as well. He's been very good. But yeah, the way he's been playing, I think he should be another reserve for sure. But those are my first three. So let's get to your first three, and then we could just finish it out from
My
there.
first three, I gotta go with Bi as well. I think Bi has got to be in there somewhere. I think this is his best season in his career, and it has led to winning. I think leading to winning is what fans want to see. Is like if you can say you're good, but if you're playing bad basketball, no one truly cares at that moment. But as soon as you start seeing the wins trickle in, now people are saying, okay, you're doing this well, and you're on the winning team. I think that plays a part into it as well. Um, Jalen Johnson. I think
Yeah,
Jalen Johnson has to get in. I think for what he is, he's a most improved player front runner. Is now the head of the snake for the Atlanta Hawks. I think that he has to get in for sure. And now for another team in the East, I don't
I
want
got
to get
one
crazy.
lined up. Yeah, I got
I
one
don't want
lined
to get
up.
crazy,
Yeah, you better say his name, man.
bruh. I know your
Jalen
point guard.
Duran.
Yeah,
J,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Jalen Duran. I look, he's been great this year, and the Pistons are the number one seed right now, best team in the East, and Cade was already named the starter. I think they're going to get another All Star in Duran. I think they should get another All Star in Duran. He's been one of the more physical presences in the league. Like I would say, like top five, like physical, like dominance, like paint presence in the league. I think Jalen
Yes.
Duran's been up there this year. He's a grown man. Like every night he's gonna get 20 points, 12, 15 rebounds. Like, he's going to do his job. And, he just looks a lot more engaged defensively. That was the knock on him the last couple of years. Like, defensively, sometimes he would look a little lost, but he's really improved a lot on that end, especially with his rim protection. Him and Beef Stew have formed one of the more physical and whatever other superlative you want to talk about front courts in the NBA. And Duran's a big part of that. So I think he should be an all star for sure. He's having the best year of his career. So I think he should be rewarded.
Yeah, like that's the thing. For me, it's like, bro, the career altering move for Isaiah Stewart to go from an inside paint presence to now can shoot over 40% from three. I think that's one of the great stories about this Pistons team and how they have evolved through time. And I have to shout their front office for having the patience to allow their players to develop. Uh P5, Paulo Banchero, he's been
Mm.
really good this past month. Uh People had their questions about Paulo saying, does he fit with this new Magic team? Does he fit? Is him the coach? will him and his coach get things together? I think with every great thing, it just needs time. I think Paul just needed time to get with the new guys around, especially with Desmond Bain, because Desmond Bain he doesn't need the ball, but sometimes he does need the ball to get things going. He needs those shots. And Paulo, last season we saw him take 30 shots. We saw him take 25 shots each and every game. But now this year, he doesn't have to take that many shots. He can take 15 to 20 or even around the 17 range will be the perfect medium for him to get his 25. But one thing I can say about Paulo, please, let's just get back to that midi pull up. That pull up 3-pointer, brother, let's work on that
I mean,
through All Star
honestly,
break.
any type of jump shot right now is tough. I mean, the last month has been better, but
Yeah,
Paolo's been one of the worst jump shooters in the NBA this year.
yeah, and it's like I feel like the mid range pull up, I feel like that can work out for him way better than 3-pointer because I feel like his game, Paulo's is at his best when he's 20 feet and in. Because
Yeah.
if he can physically dominate you from inside the arc, who can guard him in the league? Truly.
Yeah, I see your point with the Paolo pick. I hesitate because, he kind of had a rough start to the season and all that. And I'm still a Paolo believer. I think, he's going to be all world in the next couple of years. But in terms of this year, the like all-star reserves, the Magic have been struggling a little bit. He struggled to start the season. He's been very good the last month, but I wouldn't pick him. I would pick another forward. And I know his team hasn't been winning, but honestly, it's kind
Who?
of tough to say that he's not an all-star. Michael Porter Jr. I think Michael Porter Jr. has completely reformed his game, and I used to not be a fan, especially when he was in Denver, because it was just sometimes I'm just like he would just take some shots. I'm just like, yo, what are you doing? Like you have Jokic, you have Murray, you have Aaron Gordon, what's going on up there? But honestly, he's completely reformed his game in Brooklyn. He's been one of the best tough shot makers in the NBA this year. He's been efficient from the field, from 3-point range. He's scoring the ball a lot more. His playmaking has gotten a lot better, and I know all the memes about the balls, the rock stops here with Porter Jr. and all that, but he's actually swinging the ball this year. He's actually moving the ball a lot more, which is funny because Brooklyn's a much worse team than in Denver, so you would expect
Yeah.
him to hog the ball a little bit more, but he's actually been playing within the offense a lot. And I know Brooklyn, they're rebuilding and their record is not great, but in terms of some of the best players in the East this year, Michael Porter Jr. has been up there, and I think he should get rewarded for that.
I have another guy, Norman Powell. I feel
Yeah,
like Norman Powell,
that was my next one.
yeah, I think he deserves the nod. I think for what his career has been, this is first time we see him in the spotlight of being somewhat of the guy of the team. Him and Bam are the leaders of the Miami Heat. We see it, and there's no question about who's the leaders of the Miami Heat. But him stepping into the number one option role in the offense is a pleasure to see. We see him go from a 15 point per game score off the bench to now we're seeing him shooting over 35% from three. We're seeing him do these things that make him a special dynamic scorer. And now with what he's doing in Miami, he's averaging 23. He has three is averaging close to 4 assists, 3 to 4 assists. But it's just the way he's taking on being the alpha in the room alongside another alpha with Bam, I think that's what makes Norman Powell a very good All Star pick.
Yeah, Norman's been really good the last couple of years. I know he kind of tailed off at the end with the Clippers last season with the hamstring injury and whatnot, and honestly probably would have been an all-star last year if he didn't get hurt. But he's been really good for Miami. He's more comfortable in that on-ball scoring role, and there are questions about the ceiling of this Heat team, which still seems to be the play-in. But Norman's been very, very good for them. He's basically been their best perimeter guy all year. Tyler Hero's been out a lot. Davion Mitchell's not really that much of a shot creator. He's more of a playmaking defender. So having Norman come in with his 23, 25 a night has been huge for them. But my last pick, since the Giannis injury, so Donovan's going to be probably going to be a starter. And I know we don't really see rookies in the All Star game. I know we don't. I know we don't see it. But I think we got to make an exception this year for Concanipple. Yeah, I think we have to put him in the All Star game because first of all, top three and 3-point makes in the league, fastest to 100 threes for a player in NBA history. been one of the best shooters in the league. His scoring has been amazing. His I was concerned about his physicality pre-draft. He has completely been so comfortable with physicality, and on an on-ball role as well. And Charlotte has been one of the more fun teams in the league over the last month, in my opinion. And I talked about in the summer, with their rebuild and all that going well, and now they're bearing the fruit. I think that they're going to be in the play-in this year, and then next year I think they're going to be a playoff team. But and honestly, the huge, huge reason for that is Conkanipple, and I think he should be rewarded with an All-Star spot.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I think Khan has been the most consistent player for the Hornets. I think he's the main staple of why things have been going the way they have been going this past month for the Hornets is because first off his spacing, first off his on court presence to where it leaves wide open driving lanes for rim runners like Miles
Yeah, his
Bridges, like
gravity.
a LaMelo Ball. All that gravity that he contains for an opposing defense is one of the best in the league so far. Like I said, he's third in 3 pointers made. So, if being honest, Colin Knipple has to get denied. Now for the
I know
West,
we don't see rookies in the All-Star game like ever. I can't even remember the last time we had rookie in the All-Star game. I would probably have to look
yeah,
that up, but Khan, honestly, very well deserving. And him and Cooper Flag the other night, that was probably the most fun I've had watching a game, watching two rookies go at it in a long, long time. So I think that just solidified his case
yeah, for sure. And mind you, Duke didn't win a national championship with those two. So,
because they couldn't break a press. That's why they lost. So
yeah, man. But moving forward for the West, everyone knows the number one consensus for this, Anthony Edwards, should
yeah,
be a
should have been a
starter.
starter. Should have been a starter, and I'm still mad about it. I'm not happy with that. I love Steph Curry. I love Steph. I don't want to come off as a Steph hater, but Anthony
Yeah,
Edwards, no matter how you slice it, has been better than Steph Curry this year, and I think we all need to acknowledge that he should have been a starter. But yes, shoe in first pick.
yeah, for sure. Uh, your
Another
guy,
shoe in, Kevin
yeah,
Durant.
yeah,
Like
KD, Book.
You know,
I
they,
think,
yeah,
I think
Devin
Book.
Booker for sure. You have Kawhi Leonard should be a reserve in my opinion. I think James Harden should also be a reserve. Well, actually, I don't know if he
I
should.
feel like
There's a lot of there's a lot of
Denny,
good players in the West.
Denny,
Yeah,
your guy Denny.
Denny should be in there.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some tough choices. There's gonna be some tough choices. Oh, Jamal Murray for sure.
Oh,
I,
Braun. They gotta put in Braun.
yeah, they got to put Braun in there too. Wait, so how many reserves we get? Seven.
Yes.
So and KD for sure, and KD Kawhi. I think those three, 100%, like
Yes.
no doubt. After that,
They're going to put in Braun. The NBA
so
is
you
going to
got
put
four. You got four spots. So how many guys we have left? We got Braun, we got
in
Denny, we got Jamal Murray, we got Chet
Keontae George,
Holmgren, Keontae George,
Cooper.
Cooper Flat. Like there's probably like 7, 8 guys for four more spots because I think the first three spots are guaranteed.
Yeah.
Like if Ant and KD and Kawhi are not reserves, then we need to upend the whole process here. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go because yeah, Braun. No way they're not putting Braun in, especially if it's gonna be his last year, which is what it's feeling and looking like. So Braun, Danny, Jamal Murray, Keontae George, or Chet Holmgren for that last spot.
That's a
That's a
European.
conversation. I mean,
Nah,
because
it
you
is.
probably
I think that's a European pick. Like, there's no wrong answer to it.
yeah, there is it because Chet's been one of the best defenders in the league this year, and
Yeah,
his offense has improved tremendously. Keontae has taken a huge jump in his game.
100%.
Um, so I'm gonna go Keontae. I'm gonna go Keontae. But like, if they take Chet, I won't be mad. Like
I feel like
that
Chet will only get
that's
the nod because he's on the Thunder.
yeah, number one seed only having one All Star too. That's kind of tough. So
Yeah, so
yeah, so
that's on.
because you got four spots basically guaranteed, and you only got three
Yeah,
others, and you have like five guys compete for three spots. And I know we made the case for Khan in the East because the East, you know, has not been great this year. Like it has not been great. Conference depth has not been there. But the talent pool in the West is just so much more competitive. That's why Cooper Flag, in my opinion, probably won't get the nod. I mean, he's playing at an all-star level for sure, but there's just too many talented players in the West, man, this year.
Bro, I love Cooper Flag, and like I remember in the beginning of the season, everyone was shunning Jason Kidd for making Cooper Flag play the point guard position. But in reality, I feel like it made him grow up and mature in the NBA way faster than a normal rookie because he had to deal with the pressure. He had to deal with being an on-ball guy, being the main guy. And I think that for what this has done for Cooper's development will make him transcend into that superstar realm very early on, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's letting him see the floor a lot easier. Because I honestly I didn't really like the move at first, when they announced that he was going to be the starting point guard. I was not a huge fan of it, putting that much on the plate of a rookie that early. And obviously Cooper struggled early on. But now, when he has the ball in his hands, he's making his reads a lot quicker. He's comfortable in the pick and roll. Uh, Dribble handoffs, he's really, really good at as well. So honestly, Jason Kidd, for all the flack that I gave him for that, I'll give him all the credit in the world. Like, proved me wrong, proved a lot of us wrong. And he's right. He knows what he's doing. He's a Hall of Fame point guard. He's probably one of the 5, 7 best point guards to ever play in the NBA. So you just got to trust his judgment. And now Cooper's reaping the rewards. So hopefully he continues to elevate his game.
Yeah, for sure. So now we're gonna move to trade deadlines very soon. I think it's in a couple weeks, right?
Thursday, February
Y-
5th.
Yeah.
So today,
So
yeah, 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 Thursday.
so your Cleveland Cavaliers made the most recent trade, getting DeAndre Hunter gone, but getting Dennis Schroeder, Keon Ellis into the mix. Uh, what are your thoughts on it?
I like the move personally. When the Cavs got DeAndre last year, he was kind of viewed as the missing piece kind of thing because Cleveland had been looking for that wing, to pair with Garland, Mitchell, Mobley, Allen for years, and they just couldn't, figure it out. And DeAndre was supposed to be that guy, and he was great to finish the year last year. The last 27 games or so, he was really good. Shot over 40% from three, had a good first round series against Miami, against Indiana. He played hurt. And to start this season, with Garland out, this was kind of his time to shine. Like, he was going to be probably the secondary creator next to Donovan starting lineups, and I know they wanted to put the ball in the hands of Mobley more, but the touches were there for DeAndre and he just didn't deliver. He's having the worst season of his career since probably his second year in the league. His 3-point shooting's at a career low. His defense has declined. And he was honestly making too much money for, a second apron team. The Cavs are the only second apron team in the NBA. Making $25 million next year. That's a lot of money, for a guy who hasn't been producing. So, you bring in Keon Ellis, you bring in Dennis Schroeder, you kind of fix your two flaws in one move. The Cavs needed another perimeter defender. You got that in Keon, and honestly, Dennis is a pest. So, whether or not he's a good defender, up to debate, but he's the Dennis Schroeder, for lack of better term, is just an asshole when he plays. So
Yeah,
like and every team needs that kind of guy. Like, you hate playing against them, but you love having them on your team. I think that's what Dennis brings to Cleveland. But the cap savings are really huge for them. The on court fit is going to be great with Keon and Dennis. But my first thought, well, I had two thoughts. One, this means that they believe in Jalen Tyson, 100%. And I think that he's going to be the starting small forward for the rest of the season because he's been amazing. Highest point per game increase in the NBA this year, and his fit with Donovan has been amazing this year. They've been two of Cleveland's most important players. But then my second thought was, now that you have Schroeder in the fold and he has 2 more years in his contract, last year is partially guaranteed. What does this mean for Darius Garland in the offseason? That was my next thought. Would they be more open to a move if they flame out in the playoffs again? And now that you have insurance, are you gonna trade Garland for like a high level wing? That was my second thought. But I don't think they're gonna trade him at the deadline. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think that ship has kind of sailed. But in the offseason, I wouldn't be surprised if they revisit it.
yeah, for sure. So now, and you're let's say which teams will be sellers come the NBA trade deadline?
Ooh, sellers. Well, all the tanking teams. I think Brooklyn, Indiana. Actually, I don't know who Indiana. Actually, no, Indiana probably. I think they could move Benedict Mathurin. I don't think that they want to pay him in the offseason, so I think they could move him. In the West, I mean, the New Orleans should be sellers, but I don't know if they're going to be because they want to keep Trey Murphy, they want to keep Herb Jones, they want to keep Zion Williamson. For a team that's 14th, 15th seed in the West, that having this many untouchables to me is actually kind of insane. But especially with no first round pick this year,
Nah,
and I think they should trade Trey Murphy, and I know he's been amazing for them. I don't know you don't want to trade Trey Murphy, but you need the draft picks. And I know we're going to talk about college basketball in a little bit. I did they watch the games yesterday? Like I said, like so that's just what I have to say to that. But I think those three teams will see as sellers. I think the Wizards will also be in there as well, but they don't really have that much veteran talent anyway. They're a very young team, and they kind of already traded not Chris Middleton, sorry, C.J. McCollum and Corey Kispert away for Trey. So I think they'll probably just be a facilitator in trades and three-team trades. Sacramento, I think, will also be a seller. They want to get rid of DeRozan. They want to get rid of Levine, Malik Monk, Sabonis. I think we'll probably see Sabonis on the move this week too. Um, and I think Milwaukee too will be a seller. I think they're going to be a seller. I think especially with the Giannis news and that they're going to be entertaining offers. I don't think we're going to see a Giannis trade this week because it's kind of short notice, and also teams will have more flexibility in the offseason to make moves for him. So teams like New York, teams like Miami, like they'll have access to more draft picks, cap space, stuff like that, to make a move for Giannis. So I think the Bucks are just going to tank the rest of the year. I think they have their first round pick. I'm not exactly sure, but I'll got to check that. But if they do, I fully expect them to tank and sell off their talent like Bobby Portis, Kyle Kuzma, all those guys.
yeah, okay. So once I list out these names, you tell me if they're staying put or they're gone.
Okay,
Sabonis,
gone.
Jose Alvarado,
That's a good one. I think gone.
Lloyd Markkinen,
He's gonna stay. I think he'll stay.
okay, Daniel Gafford,
Ooh, that's a good one. Um, I'll lean gone, but wouldn't be surprised if he stays and they move him in the summer. I wouldn't be surprised with that. But I'll lean gone for that too.
John Morant.
Stay. He's gonna stay. I mean, he
Yeah,
said he wants to stay in Memphis, which on my opinion, and the Grizzlies said that they're fine with keeping him, which is to me code for Ja did not have a market. We didn't like the offers. We're gonna keep John Morant, so I think he's gonna stay.
Miles Turner.
Stay. That contract is, yeah, that's tough. That's gonna be a tough contract to try and get off of, so, especially with the way he's been playing. Yeah, I think he's gonna stay just because of that. I don't think he's gonna generate much interest.
Okay, last name Miles Bridges.
I think he's gonna stay. I think Charlotte wants to keep this team together. They were one of the best teams in the league this month. They, they
100%.
were they were top three in offensive rating, defensive rating. They destroyed the Thunder, which I completely surprising. So I don't think Charlotte's going to make any moves. I think they want to see how this team performs to end the season before reevaluating in the summer. But yeah, I don't expect them to make any moves because I mean this is a fun young team, man. You want to keep that together for a little bit. You're building a culture, so you don't need to make any moves right
Yeah, for sure. Well, uh, we did everything that was on the agenda.
now.
Well,
Yep.
appreciate you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to read Izzy Substack. We'll link in the description below. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.